Today's video is sponsored by RoboPack, the trend-setting solution for Intune packaging and third-party patch management, and it's free for SMBs and NGOs. Visit them today at robopack.com. In this episode, I'm going to take a look at tips and tricks for OneDrive for Business that will simply blow you away. I guarantee. Stay tuned and you'll learn something. Well, as Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, well, hello there. Welcome to the channel, Andy Malone, Microsoft MVP, as well as a Microsoft certified trainer. I really do appreciate you dropping by. On today's episode, I thought I'd take a look at OneDrive for Business. With the recent addition of Copilot, this product has been going through a real renaissance, and there has been so many cool features added to this product in the last year alone that it really is quite mind-boggling. So what I thought I'll do is take you through a nice tour of some of those cool features and just kind of give you a tips and tricks session that really will save you a lot of time and effort. Now, if you've got questions and comments, as always, get those down below. And if you've not subscribed, I'd love for you to come on board. So bump the subscribe button up there. Now, just a quick reminder as well, I also run my own Patreon site. So if you want access to full Microsoft courses and a heck of a lot more, then again, details down below. I'd love to have you on board. So I think without any further ado, as they say, it's time to jump in and let's have a look at these tips and tricks for OneDrive for Business. You enjoy. Okay, so I'm kicking off my demo here in Microsoft 365, and this particular Microsoft 365 account is an E5 subscription, and it is integrated into Copilot. So not only do I have the Copilot here, which is integrated into my data in Microsoft 365, I've also got the Copilot button here, which offers me a series of prompts. Now, of course, it's also fully integrated into Microsoft 365. So if I come into this Tailwind Traders supplies document here, you can see again that Copilot is again fully integrated here. So again, I could just click into this. Again, it gives you some optional prompts here, and this is quite nice. So can you just go ahead and give me a quick summary of this document? So off it goes, and it will summarize the document for you, which is really helpful. Now, the other thing that you can also do, of course, you can create an image. You can convert this to, for example, a PowerPoint presentation, all at the flick of a switch. So Copilot is awesome. It's fully integrated. But until recently, we didn't know how much it was going to be integrated into OneDrive for Business. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to my portal here, my various apps, and I'm going to open up Microsoft OneDrive. And the first thing that you can see is it says, okay, Copilot is here. You want to go and work with Copilot, and it gives you some kind of recommendations. I'll let you go ahead and discover that for yourself. So once you've discovered it, let me just show you the subtle ways in which Copilot has been integrated. So here are the same documents that I was just looking at a moment ago, and here's that same document, the Tailwind Traders. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to get a quick overview of a document without actually even opening it? Well, say no more. I can now click onto this and I get the same summary. How cool is that? So you don't even have to go through and open that document. You can just quickly summarize the document here. Now, I'd just like to point out as well that it only will give you access to documents for which you have the appropriate permissions for. So of course, for security reasons, for compliance reasons, anything that's been labeled and you don't have access to, of course, you won't have access to that. But based on what it's shown you here, you can then add further prompts here. You can ask additional questions. Again, you can convert this to a different type of presentation. So that's one really cool feature that you can do. So not only summarize it, you can create an FAQ, and again, you can prompt it without opening a document. So what else can you do in OneDrive? Well, as you can see, you can quickly filter on your recent most used files. And this includes native support for PDF files now. You can also filter by name or by a username, and you can also search, again, all files, my files only, or if you've got the appropriate permissions, you can search through the whole organization. Again, saves you so much time. Now, earlier I showed you the Copilot feature where you can float your mouse pointer over the document. Again, you've got the Copilot option. So if you wanted to just very quickly get a nice quick overview of what's involved with that document without opening it, again, you can do that. I'd like to mention again that security and compliance feature. Just because you can see the document here doesn't necessarily mean that Copilot is going to open. It depends on those compliance and security rules that you've set up. So what else can you do? Again, I'm going to click on the ellipse here. Again, I love this. The fact that you can now instantly, with a single click, just click on Convert to PDF, and you now have an instant PDF version of a document without having the hassle of going through and actually opening the document, saving the document, and so on. So you don't need to do that file and print. Again, you can review that and you can see indeed where it's actually gone ahead and been stored. So again, really, really nice feature. I absolutely love that. Now, the other thing is if I go to my files, of course, and again, it's amazing how many people don't know this, but I can click on to new here, and again, I'll click on a new folder. We also have the colored tabs. So again, I can choose a colored tab here. I can call it, we can call it the, let's say sales data there. And again, I can go ahead and I can create a project with a purple tab. Now, just to mention that you can also change the color anytime. So don't worry if you've chosen the color and you want to change it. Again, it's really, really super easy to do that. Other things that you can do here, you can also view things like version history. So for example, I've got a folder here called IT. If I go in here, it depends on if you've actually configured it or if you've set it up and so on. Also, if you've got the permissions to do it as well. So if I go back to sales data, click on the little ellipse, and if I come down to version history, you can see at the moment I've only got one version of this particular document or this folder in there. But you can go in and you can save it as a different version. This is quite useful if you need to restore an item as well. I actually covered this recently on a recent YouTube video, but just in case you didn't know, you can go to the little gear icon here and you have this option to restore your OneDrive. So I can simply go into the OneDrive here. I love this. You can actually go back up to 30 days. If you need to go back beyond that, of course, you would need to add in data retention. So I can click on custom time, and again, I can choose how far back I want to go. Simply select the item that you want to restore and then hit the restore button, and you're good to go. Now, the other thing that you can also do as well, again, in the past, you would have had to create individual folders and you would have had to copy documents in just by group. Now you can copy whole document, including parent and child folders, into OneDrive for Business. And do remember that what you see here is on every device. So if you've got OneDrive for mobile, OneDrive for Business mobile, you can either view this in the web, and you can also have it so it fully synchronizes with either your PC or Mac device as well. Now, the other thing that we can do here is we've got, again, simple option here. You can go in and you can have a look at the shared items here. So at a glance, this just very quickly shows you what documents have been shared with you. It's showing me who owns the document here. And also you can see who's actually shared that document and the date and time when it was actually shared. You can also, again, click on the ellipse here. I can download a copy of that. You can hide it from shared if you have the appropriate permissions, of course. And of course, again, you can go to that Copilot option and you can create an FAQ based on that. So what else can you do in OneDrive? So again, I'm just going to come to my My Files folder here, and I'm going to scroll up. If I select this document here, you'll notice that we have a context menu here at the top. So again, I can delete it. I can request access to those files as I've just mentioned. If I click onto the ellipse, you can move, copy, rename. I love this. This is the Automate feature. So again, depending on your license, this used to be known as Microsoft Flow. We can now create PowerAutomate. So with PowerAutomate, I can see, hey, I want to go off. I want to create a flow. And you can see you get a number of various options here. And again, these are just really a flow based on OneDrive for Business. So again, post a message to Teams for a selected file. So any files that go in here, again, off it goes, and it will post a message to Teams. Get a push notification, for example. And again, it's really kind of super simple to do. I simply click into here. I can add an Outlook task for the selected file. So what kind of Outlook task do I want to do? So I simply click onto this and it will take me in to my options here. So typically it says, okay, OneDrive for Business. So if I pop a OneDrive for Business in, you can see it's already populated it for me. User accounts are already in. If it says sign in, it's just requiring you to basically authenticate. So again, I can just do that. You could also say, notify a team or a group. And it will just let you know. So all you need to do is just authenticate here. Once you've done that, basically what it will do is any files that had gone into OneDrive, it will let you know. So it will put a little note in a to-do list for you. So again, I now simply create that flow and it's done. So it's great to see that feature now in OneDrive for Business. Such a nice feature. Okay, so my flow is up and ready to go. So every time that initiates, you can see it gives detail of the flow, who's the owner of the flow, and again, it makes some nice recommendations about that. Okay, at any point as a user, by the way, you can turn that off, and you can also get analytics on that. If you want to export the flow to another user, you can also export it as a package. That's really nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is just the flow feature. So you can create a flow or a PowerAutomate directly by selecting the file or the folder and simply going to the ellipse here and choose to automate it. Again, you might find that there are, depending on your license, there are a number of pre-created flows, but of course, you can also create your own as well. So again, really nice. Just to mention the other new feature here, you'll notice that we also not only have browse files, obviously your files here, you can also browse files by people as well. And these obviously people or individuals within your organization who have shared their content with you, you can see that. Any details about meetings, any kind of media files as well, which is really cool. Again, you see there's nothing here. And again, you can also create what we call quick access as well. So if there's a particular project or something that you're working on with a group of people, you can see that we have that here. Now, just like to mention as well, drag and drop is fully supported. So you can drag multiple files directly into OneDrive for Business. It's absolutely awesome. So just to mention one quick little gotcha that I mentioned. So if I come into Microsoft 365 here, you can see I've got my most recently used OneDrive documents. But if I come into, let's say, the little gear icon here, you'll notice that you don't have that menu that you saw in OneDrive. And indeed, if I click into the OneDrive tab here, again, I'm in OneDrive, click into the gear icon, you still don't have that option to restore your files. And it's a little bit weird. So the only way that you can get that is by clicking on the little waffle here. I call it a waffle. Going into OneDrive here, you get the same screen, but this time you get the entire menu. So not only can you check out the OneDrive settings, you can also restore your OneDrive and get the various OneDrive apps as well. Now, if you've got OneDrive for Business, you can also sync the apps if you've got the desktop version of this as well. So just to demo that, I'm coming into the admin center, I'm scrolling down and I'm coming into SharePoint. So basically all your OneDrive for Business settings for your users, you can come into SharePoint here. And if I click into my settings page, you'll notice in here that we have a number of OneDrive settings. So a quick tip is you can go into the storage limit here and you can increase it from 1 terabyte to 5 terabytes for free. So again, you'd be crazy not to switch that on. So that's a really nice tip. Okay, another quick tip can be found here on the bottom left hand corner here. You can see that it shows you how much storage space you've used and how much is left. So you can see this particular tenant has got 1.78 storage, and it tells you the percentage that they've actually gone ahead and used. If you click on that storage option there, it actually shows you your heaviest use files. So, you know, what are the largest files here? You can see we've got a PowerPoint presentation here, and that is essentially 450 megabytes. So one of the things that you could do is you might then decide to, if you've got Microsoft 365 Archive, you might decide to archive these big files off in order to save space. So whether you're using Veeam or Microsoft 365 Backup or Archive, this is quite a useful feature just at a glance to show me the largest files there. Okay. Now, I showed you earlier how you can come in and you can browse files that have been shared by you by various people. And again, there's a number of different ways to view that. See, this is really neat. So you can just very quickly see at a glance which files have been shared with you. Now, another way that you can also view this, something similar, is if you just click onto your profile picture here, and don't go to your account, but if you go to your Microsoft 365 profile, okay, this will take you into Microsoft Delve. Now, Delve has been in Microsoft 365 for such a long time, but again, it's so useful and really powerful. Again, at a glance, what you get is you get these little cards, and you can move these around, you can share them, you can copy, you can go in and preview them. You can also see what files have been shared to you from these other users. So I can quickly go into, for example, Joni's account, gives me details about Joni, shows me when she's available if I wanted to arrange a meeting with her. You could see the organization structure. So where does Joni stand in the big picture? I can see what files and folders Joni's working on. And if I've got the appropriate permissions, of course, I can then click into that and get access to that particular resource, as long as I've got the permissions. And again, Copilot is telling me that I can go into Copilot, and you can see it makes some recommendations here. So I've got the Copilot button here. Do you want to make some suggestions? Do you want to categorize things? Do you want to summarize the data? Again, this all depends on the complexity of what you're designing here. So again, it will make some suggestions for me. So if I'm happy with that suggestion, I can then go ahead and use that. So again, another example of how it's fully integrated into Microsoft 365. But I love Delve. I think it's, at a glance, it's an absolutely fantastic tool. So not only is a way to view everything that's shared with you, it's also a very quick way to obviously share your content out with other users as well. So there you have it, OneDrive for Business. Isn't that cool? I love the Copilot integration, gotta tell you. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you joining me today. Thanks so much. Questions, comments, get those down below. And if you've not subscribed, bump that subscribe button and the like button. We really do appreciate it. Okay, that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Take care. Hey, thanks so much for dropping by today. Here's a couple of videos that you may enjoy, and while you're here, go ahead, click on the subscribe button and you won't miss out.